Before I get warmed up, I always lay everything out. All my stuff, my belts, my shoes. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything, you know? Guess everyone has their own little thing, right?
I am just outside of Chicago with none other than Eric Lilliebridge and the entire Lilliebridge family, the strongest family in powerlifting.
Come on, son. Relax it in. Oh!
Now, first and foremost, I'm talking to Eric because Eric, at 26 years old,
Yes.
you just smashed a 1,045-pound squat.
Yep, PR.
That was the first time in my life I've ever seen 1145s stacked up on a squat bar. First and foremost, how does a lift like that feel? Like, what do you feel like when you're under the weight?
Honestly, once you're warming up and the jumps are consistent, it doesn't feel too bad. You know, if you made a big jump to it, it might feel really heavy, but I make my jumps perfectly, you know, 40, 50-pound jumps after a certain point, to where, you know, I'm ready for my top set, and it's not such a shock to my body. A lot of times between my third sets, we're going and going and going. I barely get a chance to sit down. But when I do, I'm rolling out my legs, get blood in there, keep everything loose. And this thing has been like a lifesaver for me, man. This helped me hit all my PRs. Sometimes the collar here, the end part will get stuck. You get a lot of weight on it, and it won't want to roll, it'll stick, and then when you're squatting, it'll actually pull the bar down and up. So I gotta make sure it's all loose before we start. Throw some oil in there. Definitely helps keep it loose.
So you've obviously progressed a lot over the years through squatting.
Yes.
Would you say, see, now when I picture 1,000 pounds plus on my back, I squat, I have yet to even squat 500, so when I picture even 700 on my back, I picture like my back crushing and not being able to breathe. I picture 1,000 pounds being like that too, but does it feel the same as 800 pounds did back when that was your max, and 600 back when that was your max?
Honestly, yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel much different, you know, it's all relative to the person.
So you do adapt to it?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What do you feel like after a squat like that?
Like today, for example, I mean, I feel pretty drained now.
Yeah.
You know, immediately right after, wasn't too bad. You know, the adrenaline's flowing and whatnot, but you know, 30 minutes later, an hour later, yeah, it starts to hit me, and then I start feeling pretty tired and run down. But it usually takes about at least a week before I start feeling like 100% again.
Yeah.
But I make sure I give myself plenty of time between my heavy workouts so that I'm able to, you know, perform, you know, when it comes time.
Now, low bar squats obviously have they take a toll on your shoulders, your upper back gets tight. When you're working with weight like that, I mean, how much do you feel it in your surrounding body parts, like your back, your shoulders, everything?
Now that I'm a couple of years into doing it, it's not as bad. But when I first made the switch from high bar to low bar, it was pretty difficult. My shoulders would get tight all the time, get really bad soreness. My forearms would ache, my elbows would ache. But now that I'm adapted to it, it's actually not so bad. I feel it more like in competitions.
Yep.
When I go to bench afterwards, like everything pretty much it aches, and then, you know, taking like anti-inflammatories, you know, muscle rubs help at that point, but it only does so much. You know, so.
One of the things I noticed about you is you are one of the most calmest lifters I've ever seen. Even right up into your last set, even before your top set. You know, a lot of times I get with lifters and they might be fine during warm-ups, but as soon as they get in heavy weight, you don't talk to them. They're in their zone no matter what. Before your top set of 1,045, I saw you laughing. I thought you actually like joking and chatting with friends.
Yeah, we're used to it. Like I told you before, it's when we all train together, you know, we're helping each other.
Yeah.
I'm up in between my sets, spotting, loading, talking. So I might get about 5-7 minutes where I'm actually just sitting down, resting, and, you know, getting in my zone.
What I do is coach. Hold on, son. Hold on. Center. Come on, son. Right there. Lock it in. Control it, son. Get your balance.
And speaking of rest time, I see you use a stopwatch.
Yes, yeah, I've been doing that for years. You know, like I'm saying, I try to get it like just perfectly 15-20 minutes to try and mimic a competition.
Okay.
You know, because your attempts are going to be in that range depending on your flight, how many people are in there. But generally, the meets that I do, there's at least 15 people in a flight.
Yeah.
So, you know, each lifter is at least a minute. So I try to just get it pretty close. So So
you're only 26, which is pretty young, especially to be squatting just about the world record. The current world record is 1,058. 58.
Yeah.
So you're right behind it.
Close.
And this was a 9-pound PR for you too.
Yes.
How old were you the first time you ever squatted 1,000 pounds?
I was 24.
24?
Yes.
I really became, I'm not sure this is when I found you, but I really became an avid fan of you when your last day of being 23 years old and you pulled 900 pounds for the first time in that video.
Yeah.
That video has a good amount of views now. It became pretty popular.
Yeah.
So your squat is obviously your strongest suit, but you have a pretty good deadlift as well. What's your current deadlift?
My best in the gym is 906, and then my best in the meet is 903.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they're close, but like I don't really go too far beyond what I can actually do in the training because I want to make sure I got it in the meet.
Right.
You know, save it for where it counts.
When did you start lifting? At what age?
I was 13.
13?
I mean that. Again, it wasn't really anything serious until I got to about 14.
Yeah.
Then I started competing, and then from there, just I went with the flow. So.
How old were you when you did your first meet, and what was your total on it?
I was 14 years old, and my total was 880.
Okay.
It consisted of a 285 squat, a 195 bench, and a 400 deadlift.
For 14 and just started, it's actually really good.
I was about 160 at the time.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You actually have a pretty cool video of your compilation of your deadlifts throughout the years. You have a pretty strong deadlift at a young age, right?
Yes.
Like in your teens, you were pulling 800 plus?
Yeah, my first time I pulled 800, I was 18. I weighed about 258, 260, right in that range.
And you have an amazing support team. Your dad, who we're going to talk to in a minute, your dad is your coach. He coaches you and your brother.
Yes.
Both of you and your brother are amazing powerlifters. Your dad's an amazing powerlifter. How do you like being coached under him? And is it ever weird that because it's like your family member, like do you ever feel the need to argue back?
No, not at all. I mean, because he's been there ever since day one. You know, he was there before I ever started lifting.
Right.
So it's all natural to me. Yeah.
I saw him. I saw you guys debating on what your final lift should be.
I let him call it. You know, I trust him.
Your initial plan was to be 1,040, right?
That was my goal because that would have been a small PR for me, about a 4-pound PR.
Yep.
So.
And then he told you to do 1,045.
Yeah. Again, it was because the change might not have fit on the bar.
Yeah.
So we were just like screwed throwing our plate on. So that made a lot of plates. So.
And leading up to this squat, you warmed up with singles, obviously, basically jumping about 100 pounds every warm up until your last 3 singles, and then you basically mimicked how to be at a meet, right? Kind of an opener, second and third.
Very, very similar, especially for this workout specifically because I'm about 3 weeks off from the meet.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure out my attempt selections, you know.
Right.
So at the meet, they'll be pretty close to what I did today, judging on how I'm feeling, obviously, but. As long as everything goes good, yeah, it'll be really close to what I did today.
So what was your rough opener today? That was?
That would have been around 940.
940? Your second was around 990?
990. And then I was planning on going 1040,
yep.
But I went a little heavier.
45.
So, yeah.
And last but not least, I'm just curious, what goes through your mind? Because you're calm all the way up until the last few minutes. Then you throw on your headphones, then you do get into your zone. What goes through your mind? What do you think of before you get underweight like that?
Honestly, I try to clear my head. You know, I try to stay focused and put it all onto the bar.
As Eric's girlfriend, how do you feel when he does these big lifts?
Really excited and happy for him.
Do you get nervous at all?
Yeah.
Yeah?
All the time. I'm holding the camera and I'm like,
that's a lot of weight.
You can do it.
I'm ready.
Go ahead, son. Right there. Lock it in, son. Steady. Take your time. Big break, son. Control it. Push it up. Push it up. Here.
Nice job, son. You killed it.
You take on you coach clients, right?
Yes.
So if a client wants to reach out for you for coaching,
Yes.
how do they reach you?
You can check out my website. That'd be ericlilliebridge.com.
Okay.
Or you can email me. That'd be shutupandlift@gmail.com.
His website and his email will both be in the info box below, the first links if you guys want to get in touch with him. Also, I'm going to link Eric's YouTube channel. Does upload pretty regularly. He has frequent lifting videos uploaded onto his YouTube. Make sure you follow him on Instagram, the whole 9 yards.
Definitely.
Eric, it was an absolute honor to be able to come out and watch you hit
man.
that kind of a PR.
I appreciate you coming out, man.
That was awesome.
Thank you.